Hello viewers, welcome to Core for Any. If you hear new, hit subscribe buttons and notification bell so you can never miss any our incredible content. Let a taxi app inside. Today we need to say this here the zone identify inside zones or outside zones. We need to check this here. Appropriate save inside the zone models. Need to get here the zone JSONs inside to API and to save inside the local database. First of all, so need to get this here the all zone list for the this screen. So need to get here and one more library you need to use this here the map toolkits library you need to use and to identify and to calling this here the constraint of locations. You need to call these functions and to identify inside zones or outside zones. You need to check this here. This function to need to give this here the specific latitudes and longitudes need to drawing points. This draw maybe you need to explain inside the AngularJS. Need to draw like these zones, like the Surat zones need to draw, and to given this here the points like this point to this polygon to pins inside. Then to get this here the data inside zones. If you like your pickup pins is the outside of the these zones, it will maybe possible like this here. Then to call like this outside zone. Need to identify inside or outside. We need to need this here the this toolkit and to need this here the library. First of all, so need to import this here the library inside the sport space. We need to copy here the installs. Now need to go inside the map kits, and this is a OSM Flutter OSM plugins inside not possible to drawing here the zones. That's why I need to explain here inside the AngularJS, because I will try but not possible inside only given this here the circles and rectangles need to provide here the only draw inside the maps here only two functions the availables. If you drawing so need to change this here the plugins the OpenAS into Flutter maps need to convert, maybe need to convert inside the letters but now not use here. Need to explain here the zone inside and zone outside. That's why not to not change. Need to future inside need to change this here the library. Need to replace with this here the library. This is Flutter. These plugins you need to change here. To replace with the Flutter maps you need to use these here. But futures now need to important parts of the identify here zone. First of all, so need to define here the variables and to save here the model inside need to get this here the latitudes and longitudes. Models are the needs here. First of all, so need to import here these plugins need to put this here, paste here, save this here, write down here the maps toolkits version 3 need to use this here. Now need to restart these apps because need to need this here the libs. Now need to runs again, but we need to run this here. Now need to call this here the list and to give this here the latitudes and longitudes let long map kits like this given here, and to give this here the variables names as a zone path, maybe like similar we need to give this here. Zone path array like this we need to given this here the default array, and then after we need to parse inside the maps, then we need to convert inside the try catch. First of all we need to write down here the try catch statements and no need here the catch statement. Otherwise we need to print this here the errors is good a dot to string like this, and also need to write down here the fix this here debug codes, and also input this here counters. Now need to convert inside the zone list. First of all need to give this here the zone path variables need to given here, and need to call this here. This string are saved inside the database. We need explain inside the here open the local host. PHP my admins we need to open here. Now need to go inside the taxi apps and also need to select this here the zone list and to save this data inside the JSON string. This is the JSON string and JSON array inside the save here's. Now need to use this here as a JSON string first of all, and same as need to save here the gets here the JSON string need to use this here. First of all, need to write down here the convert JSON need here JSON dot decode, maybe needs here the JSON dot decode, and to give this here the JSON on JSONs like this need to give once, as we need to get this here the parts need to always get here the array, that's why to direct parts here. Now need to create here the all the brackets and over these brackets. Now need to parsing here the maps functions need to use this here, and to give this here the path points need to give this here the p objects need to use this here the names, and to also need to return this here the value to give this here, and to maybe set here full screen no needs maps, that's why I need to create here the full screens. Now need to write down here the lets and logs, and to give this here the latitudes and longitudes need to use this here the p objects, and to given this here as let keywords, and we need to give this here as double optionals. By default give this here 0 like this way. Same as now need to copy here, paste this here. Now need to write down here the long like this, need to defining here and to return these functions, and then after need to over this here and to write down here the to list, and to complete this years, and this parsing are the done, and to convert this insert times need to automatic convert inside the this zone path array need to creating here. Now need to create here the one method static methods, and to return this here the list of the zone list models need to return here. First of all need to find out here the active zone list need to identify here. First of all need to define here the one static functions need to copy here this data, otherwise need to write down here the rest to write but futures, and to call this here the futures, and this here the zone list models like this, and to get this here active list like this here, and to getting this here, and then after need to get this here the where db is equal to await since functions, to write down here the await, and to call this here the db dot not db helpers dot share methods to get this here the db object like this. We need to getting here, and then after we need to call this here the if db object is not equal to null, if nulls then to return this here the blank array, return here blank array like this. Need to parsing here, and also need to return here the list map, and to write down here the list is equal to write down here the wait db dot execute row query, need to row query need to write down here, and we need to write down here the database query, to write down here the select zl dot stars need to call this here, need to hold columns need to need this here, that's why need to call this here stars from, need to get this here the tables names, need to define here dollars, use this here the db helper dots, need to call this here the db dot on list, and need to give this here the alias ZL. Now need to write down here the inner join and to inner join with the price detail tables, because need to, if you price available then need to displaying here, otherwise not displaying. Like this, need to condition sets here. Write down here the db helper dot db dot price details, and need to give this here the alias pd. Like this, we need to set here and to configure here. Maybe here mistake, we need to give this here the list of objects, that's why maybe gets fix this here. And now fix this error done. Now need to call this here the on methods and to write down here pd dot, need to write down here the zone id is equal to zl dot zone id. Like this, need to write down here for these tables. Maybe need to convert inside the dollar db helper dot zone id, copy here to paste these. Like this settings here on methods are the configures. Now need to write down here the end conditions and to apply this here pd dot dollar signs, need to use this here the db helper dots, need to call this here the status is equal to, need to give this here the 1 and where conditions to here 1. Like this, I'll write down here the where conditions zl dots, need to calling this here status, always need to need this here the ones, need to copy against these lines, paste this here equal to set here 1. And conditions group by, need to need here group by here this here the zl dots, need to call this here the zone id. Like this, you need to creating here the zone list, need to get here for these functions and to pass this the array. Now need to returns list and to map these objects and to give this here z object like this, and to return this here the zone list model, give this here the z object and to write down here the to list and two semicolons on the last. Like this, we need to modify inside the zone list models are the modifyings, and to get this here the zone list data are the gettings, and to format this text. Like this, need to creating here, and then after need to go this here the users and to declaring here the let logs library, need to need this here, need to first of all the save here the zone list zone list models, and to write down here zone list array like this, and to also to one variables for the select specific stones, need to give this here as the select pickup, otherwise need to give this direct here the zones, only save here the pickup zones, not need to here drop zones, need to need this here. Like this, need to set here the optional variables like, and then after the initialize, we need to call in this here the chain locations, we need to go here definitions and to write down here the zone list array is equal to, need to call this here the zone list models dots, need to get this here the active list and to call this here the await functions. like this need to calling here's. Now most important parts after the changing the selecting these objects need to call here's, need to go inside here the change regions times need to pick up locations and then change the states need to check here is pickup locations only 10 subdates needed, otherwise not subdates any status. Need to write down here these conditions here. If is pickup, then operations here the write down here command select locations inside zone and like this need to write down here the conditions. First of all need to write down here the for ins methods need to call this here and to give this here the zone list array and to define here zone object zone model object like this need to defining here and then after need to check here if need this here the polylines utility need this here polygons utility polyutit dots need to get this here the constraint locations latitude longitudes the constant these methods need to call this here now need to give this here the points. First of all need to define here the lat and long lat longs need to defining here the use this here the center maps dots latitudes and center maps dot longitudes like this calling fields. Then to set this here the zone polygons area dots need to give this here the object dot need to calling this here the zone path need to give this here the array and also need to give this here the geometrics need to set here the true and to set here these conditions if true hence need to means this here the found inside zone this parts not found inside zones. Maybe we need to print this here the logs is good. Copy here to paste this here like this and copy here again and to paste this here. If found then need to save this here the select zones is equal to need to write down here the ZM like this and also need to print this here the found zones details need to print this here to write down here the select zones maybe ZM is good boost like this need to printing here to map and to convert here the string and to printing this here found zones inside zones like this here and to calling this like here and to save this here. Now need to test here work or not need to restart these apps and to minimize this cursor screen. Now check here the logs and here found John's here maybe login issue maybe this is draw for the not working good maybe small size Now view outside of the Surat, then to get this here the not found inside the zones need to get this here, and then after need to scroll down and to stop here the inside Surats, and to get this here the print inside zones bounds, and to give this here the latitudes longitudes, and to check this here maybe this wrong place to put this here. Here check select zones is equal to nil null, then to print this here not inside zones like this printing here, and always need to clear here the select zones set here as the nulls. Only for the testing purpose need to write down here the clearing here the nulls, otherwise no needs here. Maybe set here. Now need to runs again and to clear this here. Now also need to see this here our drawing zones need to displaying here. Go here and here. Like this movings, and to this specific need to go now do must and to check inside zones or not. Now need to pounds here the not pounds not inside the zones, and now need to put inside the ears nearby. Maybe map is not working inside the simulators. That's why put this ears. Now these parts are the covers inside the zones. That's why I need to get this here the Surat zones, and to get this here the value, and to like this displaying here. Now need to go outsides these zones, need to put science outsides. So Surat need to not found inside zones like this need to print things here the logs. If you like this video, please give the thumbs up. If you're new user, so please subscribe my channels and press the notification bell icon. You can get every new video notifications and awesome content. If you have any question, so please write down the comment sections. I will help you and sort out your issue. Everyone have a nice day. Goodbye and take care.